These mutants took this canyon we were shown.
Hell yeah, fucking right. There aren't many paths leading to mutant valleys that are safe from the sun. We'll find them.
For a successful escape, the breakout is just half the battle. The other half is diligence. It is likely that they moved slowly and decided to stop and hide at nightfall, so I'm not worried. But a little help never hurt anyone. See anything, Amelia?
Nope, but we're still far from that place he showed us. My baby's fast, but it doesn't go the fucking speed of light.
One must muster quite a bit of courage to escape from a city, only to risk it all in the desert, defenseless while soldiers are in hot pursuit, or have already suffered greatly.
I wonder how long they chase after them once they've left the cities. Most people think it's impossible to survive in the desert. So wouldn't they figure they could let the desert do their dirty work for them?
I hope no one was wounded. Blood attracts creatures of all sorts, predators that'll pounce on the weak. Imagine it, Zach. Walking all those miles through hostile areas, hiding and sleeping during the day. Takes courage.
Once everything's been taken from you, death probably isn't a fear anymore. Rebuilding a life comes with the price of risking it.
Too bad they didn't have vehicles or something to help them run. Hell, someone should build hideouts along the path to help. A place to give them food and water. A place to catch their breath, you know?
Hi, Nisha.
Hi, Zach. Everything all right?
The day is rising. They must find a place to rest, and this cave is perfect to hide them from both the men and father's son.
But this cave he has a bad feeling. There's danger here, from the moment he wakes to...
No, we've already met and defeated danger, overcome it together, so he must stop behaving like a slave. Come!
Don't be afraid. Scum sent me from Newton Valley to protect you. We're almost to Mutant Valley.
You have our thanks, man.
Call me Zachariah.
Then you have our thanks, Zachariah. We will not forget what you have done for us. We must hurry now, though. The day is coming.
You're just an old fool, aren't you? Risking your own neck to shelter the rogue. Well, if your neck's no value to you, it's no value to me either. I'm off to Afir. Soldiers, Abundance has fed its parasites for far too long. I think it's time we stop some of the leeching.
No, stop! Listen to me. Let me...
If I don't step in, they'll kill him.
What a sun-jammed fucking prick. How the hell did you go all these years without killing his sorry ass?
I almost did a couple times. Lucky for him, he knows how to protect himself. Enough talking, though. We gotta go save Scott.
Zach, you came. I thought that it was all over. Thank you.
I wasn't gonna let those thugs kill you, but I'd like to know what you're doing here. Why did you disappear?
I was missing Abundance. I was hoping... Anyhow, that was silly. I'm sorry. He tried to torture me, you know? He wanted to know where to find you, but I didn't say anything.
I don't really understand how you ended up here. Anyway, let's get back. You're in bad shape. I can't figure out what Scott was doing in the desert with Alan. I better find some witnesses who saw what happened. Get to the bottom of it.
Zachariah!
just in time. That toad could have done some serious damage.
Ugh, I think I'm gonna hurl.
But this is rather quite fascinating. Did you know that the lichen on its back is not merely a parasite? Well, maybe you... Anyway, they actually have a symbiotic relationship. The lichen cools off the toad's skin, while the toad lets the lichen feed off the ooze. Well, oozing from its pores.
Yeah, now I'm definitely gonna hurl.
Thank the moons. We were able to save them. I don't know if they could have survived without our help. Scum will be happy to see they made it. The gates of Mutant Valley will open wide for you this day, friend.
I'm antsy to get to town. I'm getting tired of spending night after night in this rover.
Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like me to bump you up to first class, bitch ass?
No. But even you have to admit, it'd be nice to go to the bathroom with a door.
I'm anxious to meet Scum. He's quickly becoming a legend around these parts. Some people in Noctis talk about him like he's some kind of messiah, even though he's only just been freed from Abundance's prisons.
Yes, he has lived most of his life at Camp 19, but he has shown great wisdom since his arrival. And he is quite the speaker. I think you two will get along very well. I know not a more devout advocate for peace.
Praise to the Shadow. You are here. I was getting worried about you.
What's going on, Scum?
Cain is moving to take power. He came with dozens of followers, killed many who stood in his way, threatened to do the same to countless more. As for you and I, Phobos, I promise that he has already planned our deaths.
Zachariah, it is not my life I worry for. He will kill any and all who stand against him. He will wipe out human cities, destroying those with little more than sticks and rocks to defend themselves. Blood will drench this planet.
And I'm sure all our names are probably topping the list. And we better make a move before it's too late.
One of my ostriches is limping. I think she's hurt.
I will try to fly like that.
The doors to stop potential disruptions to the bloodbath they have prepared. I know of another way in, though. Follow me.
Your brother Cain has lost his mind. He wishes to set up a regime built upon fear, yet he suffered from something similar. He should understand that what he wants couldn't be achieved using violent means.
I don't think he's too worried about his allies or the consequences of his actions. He only cares for power and the methods to gain it.
we have here? The fool who believed he was a more worthy chief than me. It is now my way or no way. Follow me, or follow death.
Will you never change, Cain? Is your only path the one stained with blood, paved with hate? The same hate destroying your own people? Look around. This valley was once filled with peace, but is now filled with gravestones. You cannot continue to lead our people down this road.
You have gone too far, Cain. Fight someone your own size.
Do not kill him. Even if his heart pumps with pure hatred, spilling it makes us no better than he. It ensures more blood will follow. Please, be better than he is.
Scum. If I were as good as you, I would not be me. And that is all I can be. One cannot continue to trim a weed that will not stop growing and spreading its seeds. One must rip it out by the roots. He will start wars among us, or between us. He cannot live another breath.
Scum's a good guy. All he wants is peace. The valley needs someone like him to lead them. Even if I think Phobos would be a better choice in other ways.
Very kind of you to say, Nisha.
Not being kind, I'm being honest. Your people will have to fight to free your brothers and win the right to live free among the corporations. I don't think he's got it in him to lead your people into battle. That's all.
Zachariah, you are living proof that our people can live in harmony. You have helped us enormously, but now I believe it is time to make a decision.
We must present a chief to the assembly.
The time for speaking, I am afraid, is dwindling. If our internal quarrels give rise to conflict within our own, we need someone to unite us. We must walk as one race, place differences aside.
Then it should be you. There is no mutant who lacks respect for you. And unlike Cain, your leadership will not spill blood.
As a strategist, though, you are greatly respected as well. Perhaps it is you who should run.
I know it may not be my place to give an opinion, but I think that it makes sense for you to be chief, Scum. You inspire them, and that's what they need.
Perhaps you are correct, Zachariah. Though the fear of needing to be not just a chief, but a strategist that must lead a charge to free our brothers, I do not know. But we shall see what my people have to say.
My love and support are yours, Scum. I will continue on with Zachariah until he finds peace, but I will come back to help you once it is done.
Humbly he stands before you. Once we spoke like this, remember? when we were bound in our chains, but that's behind us. And today, myself, scum, in this valley that is ours, can finally say, I! And such freedom was bought with blood of our fallen brothers. Hear me when I speak these words. I also have the belief that our found freedom must be shared. And for that reason, let us rise, but with no violence, without freedom taken by crushing down those who, too, were once our brothers. So might we all be brothers someday, even those who once bathed in our humiliation. In my dreams, I see a planet where mutants and men live together, break bread together, bear witness as their kin play together. Let us not create adversaries with wrath, or become the cruelty once shown to us. Instead, let us show mercy, and in that mercy, let there lie our road to peace. And with the Shadow's mercy, may this dream of freedom and equality spread across the surface of our planet.
Zachariah, we must talk.
About what?
This is your safe house. The ASC could not reach you here, correct?
That's the hope.
But consider this. Even if Victor cannot reach you here, how many times has he tried to impede you, to track you? You've already had to escape from his grasp twice. Perhaps the time has come to be less passive, to gather your allies and take the offensive for once. Word of the power he accumulates in the People's Assembly of Abundance is terrifying. I speak not of violence, but perhaps of some other way to bring him down. With all that you have done for so many, I am certain many would be more than willing to come to your aid, and even more invigorated when that aid will bring such a tyrant to his knees. You have our support, the Technomancers, and any others you can gather. And from the great heights to which he has climbed, the fall will be tremendous. He will not recover.
Maybe you're right. Maybe it is time to take the offensive.
I know you were looking forward to a break, but he's got a point. Consider what you're after. Talk to Dandolo, pick his brain. Even though he isn't an Ophir, he has a lot of resources, and most importantly, politics is his element. At the same time, you need to tread carefully. He hates crooks so much that if you suddenly decide to ask Anton Rogue for help, Dandolo surely won't want to give you the time of day. Have to admit, I'm not even sure if I could stand the idea of an alliance with the Vori.
Zachariah!
Hi.
Zachariah, to what do I owe this privilege?
I'm looking for some mutants on their way back from the canyons. I want to thank them for helping me find my friend Scott. Thank them and ask a few questions.
The group I think you are speaking of are nomadic. They go to the canyons and live off the currency of the information they can gather, selling it to your Prince of Noctis. I can show you where they reside if you would like.
I'd appreciate that.
It appears you do not believe the story of what happened out in the desert. Has your faith in your old friend begun to wane?
I don't know. It's just something about the story. Doesn't sit right with me.
Yes, I see. I also see it as something that deeply affects you both in a personal way. Like a family matter, to be dealt with in the family. Where I'm not wanted, even if I am happy to lend aid, Zachariah.
We're lucky that scum in Phobos managed to stop Kane. That crazy zealot would have led us to the grave.
I only wish the Phobos had not solved new solutions.
In a perfect world, yes.
Hey,
Hello. How are you?
someone told me about you, so I wanted to come say thanks. Your instructions helped me save my friend.
I'm just happy you got there in time. We would have helped ourselves, but feared letting humans know free mutants roam around.
Don't blame you. You see what led to all of that? By the time I got there, they tortured my friend, and the Technomancer in charge was leaving.
Found himself surrounded by the Technomancer and his soldiers, who wanted to know where they could find a man named Zechariah. You, I suppose.
What did he tell him?
Not the answer you are scared he gave. He said nothing of your location. Instead, he told this other Technomancer that he knew who he was, but it did not seem to matter. The question was asked again. This time your friend screamed back that he knew who he was, and that they must listen to him. That is when they began to beat him, and he began to scream for mercy. Mercy that would not come, even as he screamed that he could do something for them. The violence only grew. That is when we ran to warn Dandolo. What he was offering to do for them, I do not know. He never said. But it did not matter anyway. All they wanted to know was where you were. Nothing else to them mattered. The torture lasted for hours. Your friend may be not all there, but his loyalty cannot be doubted.
Thanks. And thank you for going to Dandolo.
Of course.
Scott, thanks for coming. Please have a seat. I'm just trying to understand something.
Ah, a scientific query. Let us engage.
No, not quite. I just wanted to understand what you were doing with Alan under that shadow path. A couple mutants saw you and said you told Alan that you knew what he was, and that you could do... Of course, the jackass didn't give a damn. All he wanted to know was where we were. But what the hell were you trying to do, Scott?
Do? I wasn't doing. I was doing something, but not what... There are opportunities in life. He might have become an ally, a great Technomancer. Even if you're not friends, he could... I was... a mistake.
Scott, how long have we known each other? How much do I owe you? You're like a father to me. You know that. And you can tell me anything.
Listen, you must listen and understand and see. It is only my care and concern that pushed me to... I thought Alan might help you find yourself back where you belong. I was stupid. I am sorry.
All I want to know is why you told him you knew what he was.
Perhaps you've had a hunch, or caught wind from wherever such winds come from, but I now know. Technomancy stems from mutation, an intentionally created mutation. What the settlers called gene therapy. We, of course, refrain from such potential pollution of real humans, and just the knowledge of such things, well, would unsettle most, make things very different. My hope, though, was that such knowledge might scare Alan into supporting your cause. You see?
And what was this ability that you were talking about?
Just whimsy. A daydream, perhaps. Trying to remind him of my skills. Medical, scientific. I yearn to return to abundance, Zachariah. It is my mother. The idea of being discarded into a lawless city. If he remembered my worth, perhaps I thought he might help me return and bring you too.
I don't know what the hell you were thinking, Scott, but what's done is done. Let's get out of here. Scott, thanks for coming. Please have a... Of course, the jackass didn't give it to him.
Do?
Scott, how long have we known each other? How much do I owe you? You're like a father to me. You know that. And you could tell me anything.
Yes, and you like a more than a son, without all the messiness of diapers and all of I'm just a stupid, silly old man, Zachariah. It is a rather laborious story, some of which you know, some of which it was 17 years ago. With our corporation's unparalleled obsession with the perfect man, I found myself ensconced in gene research. My son, my flesh and blood son. I loved that child, cherished him like nothing else, but my work stole time from him, more and more, and when he was diagnosed with symptoms of the mutation, I disintegrated. As the best geneticist in abundance, I ensconced myself in research of its genome, discovering its mutation, and I heard whispers of tests the settlers had made, because they, too, had been coping with the chaotic mutative effects of the radiation. So, my friend, Mark, delivered me to a distant city, remote, nearly unlivable. I stayed there, poring through their documents until one day, I uncovered their work on a therapy which had only a singular side effect.
It modified the human body's electrical production.
Precisely. Technomancers are the result of a controlled genetic manipulation. Mutations instigated to protect us from more erratic mutations created by the radiation. A discovery I found myself racing to try out on my son. But first, I needed test subjects. So I volunteered to heal children in the slums. Found 2 young boys there to test its efficacy. And lo and behold, it worked.
Andrew and me.
Yes. Your abilities were gained thanks to my experiments, but that was not all that was gained. I had proof that I could replicate the therapy, and that, you know, now, could resist other forms of mutations. From there, well, I secured a research budget from the military, who in turn assured me they would return my son. But for him, it was too late. The experiment failed to help him, and I found myself with little choice but to end his suffering, rather than see him in a life of slavery, the life of a monster. And to the military, because I could not yet reveal what I knew, as I knew not yet what you were to become. Saw only my failure. I lost everything. Found myself socially exiled. And when Andrew's death came, you, Zachariah, became my only chance for success. my only chance to regain my past glory. So, I kept close to you for all these years. Until you finally became a Technomancer. My success. A chance for me to win back my approval. Glory within abundance. I would be the man who created Technomancers. We needed to escape. By seeing Alan, I had hoped to fix that. That they might take you back, and in turn, I might... Madness. Madness had overtaken me. Greed. Instead of being proud of my success in you, I only wanted more and more, and... Forgive me.
Leave me alone. Please. Hi, Nisha.
Hi, Zach.
Zach, can we... We need to talk. Alone.
Can't help him right now. I gotta finish the stuff I've already started for others.
Things are gonna heat up. I can feel it. Gloria better have a good excuse, otherwise she's gonna get fucked up.
Stop it, Amelia. I can't even confirm if what was said was true. I need an explanation, not a fight.
You can't blame me. Every time I see you get pissed, let me tell you, I'm glad it ain't me. Your temper's on a hair trigger, you know?
Isn't it about time we change the subject? My trigger discipline isn't so good today. Gloria, you are... Oh no.
Nisha, don't stay here. You shouldn't.
Zach, I'm not a child. Let me listen. I have to know. I have to... Nisha, I heard that you had left Ophir, that you come back here often now. I know that I won't be able to see you and tell you all this in person. I don't have the courage for it. So I hope that someone will give you this message, that you will listen to this and that you will forgive me. I did something awful, something that haunts me every day, every instant, something with which I cannot live today. You have always been strong, so much more brilliant, prettier. And me, I was in your shadow, and I felt that I was suffocating. So I went to see a man, a thief. I knew that he could plant false evidence and that he turned in people to the ASC. I said that you knew some things about their trafficking, that you were dangerous to them, and it worked. Too well, because they came to arrest our whole group. And during all those years spent with you in the camp, I knew that we were here because of me. When I saw how they were torturing you, when Nick died, I also wanted to die. But they refused. Today, I still carry the weight of my mistake and I can't bear it anymore. So farewell, Nisha. Farewell and forgive me. Your sister, Gloria.
I'm sorry, Nisha. Come on, let's go. I'll take care of the funeral. Don't worry.
Shit's all sorts of fucked up. Sorry, Nisha.
Yeah. Thanks, Amelia. I wanted to thank you for all your help, Zach. Not saying I needed it or, you know, but having you beside me and all. It's just, you're a good guy, Zach. And it doesn't hurt that the good guy's got a face like yours. Maybe, you know, later, if you had time, we could meet up. Just the two of us.
I'd be lying if I didn't think that was a great idea. Next break we have.
Good. Then I'll be seeing you in your room soon. Clothing's optional.
Hi, Zach. How are you?
Hello, Amelia. I'm fine, thanks.
I want to keep investigating. Remember what we found in the archives? The secret military shit in Eos Kazma?
Yeah. So how do you want to do this?
We gotta find a way to get into the military archives in Ophir and steal some files.
We don't even know where these files are, Amelia. But maybe I know someone who could point us in the right direction. Eliza Major, my former captain, and have access to all of them.
Ask her to read them and tell us what the hell's in there then. After that, we just gotta get back to the rover and make trails for Eos Kazma.
That road must have been taken dozens of times, Amelia. If your father was there, we'd have found him by now.
That's not true, Zach. Nobody takes that road anymore. Not with the shadow paths. There's no reason to take the rovers that way, since the area's already been mapped out. All he wanted was to find that kid. We should take that road, Zach. Please.
Sure. If that's what you want to try. You know it's been a long time, though, Amelia. The odds of us ever finding him alive...
They don't exist, Zach. He's dead. I know that. Honestly, I just want to know why.
Zachariah, what can I do for you?
I need allies to fight Victor in the ASC.
Then you came to the right place. The bastard came to our doorstep and threatened us. Sent thugs to capture one of our own who came in peace, seeking refuge. There's not a day that goes by that he doesn't grab and gain more power. The time's come to bring Victor down. You not only have me on your side, Mancer, but all of Noctis.
most exotic goods on...
I just need information.
The only information I have is about...
Goodbye, then.
It's a shame. I have...
Welcome, welcome.
You, Sergeant.
I need some information.
If it's about anything you see in here, I'm happy to help.
Later.
Please return sometime.
Captain, good to see you. I really need some information about Scott Seeker's son. Like, what happened to him after he got arrested?
You know how monitored we are, Zachariah? What do you want? I go poking around, we could find ourselves fired. Or worse, for a mutant?
Whatever we find isn't gonna bother anyone today, but it could bring some peace to the people who never stopped loving or wondering what happened to the boy. The more I learn about it, the more complicated it gets. I'm just trying to bring some peace, Captain. Just look into some dusty files. No one's gonna care.
All right. Hope you're right, Zachariah. We'll dig into the archives, but it'll take some time. Tomorrow would be the earliest.
Tomorrow it is. Thank you. I'll come back then.
Here we come.
Someone sounds excited.
Well, duh, the landscape's drop-dead gorgeous. As for the city, integrating with the valley's natural overhangs and alcoves to avoid using a metal dome, pure genius. Makes me worry about getting fried. And we'll always be strangers there.
For now, most mutants don't have an innate hatred for humans. We just need to give them time to heal.
Still, we'll never be able to walk a mile in their shoes. And for that, we'll always be outsiders. I ain't mad, though. If I were them, it'd be my personal mission to fuck up every single humanoid who said good day to me.
Right now, we must focus on uniting our nation. I understand you find it difficult to feel at home, but know that you are a friend, and that as long as I live here, you welcome. And when our people are finally free, I know many of my brothers and sisters will welcome you too.
Don't stress out about the roof. You won't be instantly mutated. I have heard tales. But yeah, what a beautiful place. Natural, organic, how refreshing. Humans should take notes.
This city makes me sad.
You're not gonna cry, are ya? I just had these seats cleaned.
I mean, I think I would have liked to, know before of its success. It's all right. Sad is too grand. Wistful, yes, wistful. By Jove, I've done it.